Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Harrington, the Savvy Sales Lady.
And I'm Simon White, sales trainer and coach from the UK.
Since we're in a new year, Simon, I thought what would be a better way but to kick off 2021 and kick out 2020
Yes.
on how to really make 2020 an effective year in terms of not only goal setting, but what you have to do in order to make sure that you're meeting those goals every month. So, Simon, I'm going to let you launch into why this is important, and then I'm going to talk later about the tools.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you. The first thing, if you're in sales, it's really understanding the numbers involved. What is your target for this year? I mean, that's it. Know where you are, where you've got to get to, and then you can decide how you're going to best bridge that gap. So what is your sales target? In turn, there might be a profitability element to that as well. How many deals you need to bring in to hit that target? So what is your average order value? And I would always say, when you work out your average order value, just take off any of those outliers. Often I'll say to a client, what is your average order value? And they're like, well, it depends. Sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. Well, if your average order value is around £50,000, but occasionally you bring in the occasional job worth £250,000, just take that off for the time being. Just work out what the average is, and that's the best play on that. So how many deals you need, then work out what is your success rate from new opportunity to closing that deal. Is it 1 in 3, 1 in 4, 1 in 5, whatever it is? And then you can work out how many opportunities you need to generate this year in order to hit that target. And you're just working your way back. If my target is this, I need this amount of opportunities, therefore I need to have this amount of first meetings, and you just work all the way back, and then you can break that down by week or month or day, whatever you want to do, so you know what your daily or weekly or monthly activities need to be to hit that target. And I would also add, to understand that sales cycle. So if you've got maybe a 4 months sales cycle, bear in mind that if you don't have that opportunity in the pipeline by the end of August, it's unlikely to close by Christmas 2021. So it's always to consider that you will have to weight it to the first half of the year in terms of that effort. So yeah, I think understanding your numbers is absolutely key. And now, this week, first week back in January, that's the time to really get your head around those numbers. So then you can just hit the ground after that.
That's really good advice. Now, it's basic advice, everyone. This is something that should be automatic for you at the start of each month, at the start of each year, at the start of each quarter. You have to know your numbers, right, Simon, in order to be able to hit them. There's another component to this, though, and that is just as is it important to set goals and to know your numbers and to know how you're going to move towards those numbers. The other part of it is, what tools are you using to ensure that you're going to stay on track? Now, if you follow me on Instagram, I put in my story 2 models for you to look at, and I will add these to the video so you can see it. And the first model is, I display, let me get it up, you can't see this, my New Year's goals for 2021, and I listed all of my goals. I don't believe in setting New Year's resolutions, Simon, because most people don't keep them. But I always set personal goals and corporate goals. And then my next model is 2021 sales habits that you have to do in order to ensure that those goals are met. So let me give you an example. These are tools that I use. I started using these in 2020. And the first one is the full focus a journal by Michael Hyatt. And I also recommend his book, Your Best Year Ever. They kind of go hand in hand. But this is a quarterly book. And this is where I put all my planning. This is where I put all my appointments of the week, of the month. And it helps me to not only put what's in my mind in the journal, it also keeps me on track, because at the end of the week, it has you go through this exercise of what did you do? What didn't you do? What do you need to improve upon? And it was so valuable for me in 2020 that I'm going to continue it. Then it's one thing to plan it. All right. The next thing you have to do is you have to create the habits in order to make the plan work. And that's why, everybody, you don't keep your New Year's Eve goals, because you list them, you list your resolutions, but you don't change your habits. You're still doing the same habits that you did before. So you have to track your habits. You have to rethink your habits. And the old saying is, habits are hard to break. You don't want to think about breaking a habit. What you want to think about is replacing it with a better habit. So, Simon, this book, Automatic Habits by James Clear, is a more expanded version of Charles Duhigg's Power of the Habit. And I have read this book so many times. And along with that is the companion piece, which is the tracker that James Clear created to help you develop better habits. Those two things combined, the plan and then the habits that you have to build in order to execute those plans, is what will make you successful in 2021. Just like Simon says, you got to know where you're going. And the goals are one thing, but you got to have the tools to work with to ensure that you are going to stay on track with your goals.
Yeah, great advice. Those habits, we have good habits and we have bad habits. And once we get the good habits going and they become those daily behaviors, and we know what our daily behaviors need to do because we understand the numbers, and that makes it easier for us as salespeople to hit our targets. How do we eat an elephant one bite at a time? And that's what we're doing. We're taking this big colossal target, breaking it down into small manageable behaviors and habits, and moving it forward. And that's the best way of doing it.
I so agree with that. And I'll just give you, Simon, an example. Okay. So I've been saying this for 4 years that I'm going to write a book. I'm going to write a book this year. Now, what is the habit that I need to create in order to make sure that that goal is met by the end of 2021? And that is, I've committed to writing 1,000 words a day.
Wow.
So that's the habit, 1,000 words a day. And then once that 1,000 words is done, I can check that off of my habit tracker that I've done it. What this also helps do is it creates a visual for you, so you can see when you got derailed and what you need to do to get back on board. But that's just one example, 1,000 words a day. Now, the other thing on a personal level that I want to do, Simon, is lose weight. I've shared with you my heart condition, and my cardiologist isn't giving me an option. I have to lose weight. So if I want to live. So one of my, in order to lose weight, you have to exercise. One of my habits to reinforce that weight loss is 10,000 steps a day. So that is in my tracker. It's in my tracker as something I have to do as a habit. So every single day, I know I have to do at least 10,000 steps a day. And it's these, you may think to yourself, everyone, Well, what's the big deal of checking something out off? When you actually see it visually, checking it off, it really helps to motivate you to keep checking it off and keep staying on track of your habits, of developing better habits. And that's the key.
Yeah, and what you're doing, you're holding yourself accountable, and you're giving
Exactly.
yourself a reward by doing it as well, because there is a reward. It's to stimulate the brain when you can tick something off. You get that feeling like winning the lottery kind of thing. It's that little small win. And it's very much like what we do with our clients, isn't it? We're holding our clients accountable as sales coaches. One of the reasons people work with us, as well as obviously our expertise and experience, it is because we hold them accountable. We say to them, your intention this week was to do X, Y, and Z. How did that go? And that's part of so that's why a lot of my clients work with me, is that accountability aspect. Yeah.
Exactly. You become their better habit.
Yeah.
Checking in with you.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, me too. And so many times people that come to us are really wanting to learn how to be accountable. And working with coaches, anyone that's worked with a coach, whether it's high school sports, I was a musician, and I had a music coach, a trumpet coach. When I was running regularly, when I was running marathons, I had a running coach. I had a tennis coach. I had a ballroom dance coach. And over my career, I've had career coaches, business coaches, and sales coaches. So, I know the power of coaching, as I know you do too, Simon. So, maybe this year, one of your goals should be to work with a sales coach. If you find that you're struggling with selling, that may be a good goal for you this year. And it may be the habit that can help you reach your goals, because in every profession, people work with coaches.
Absolutely, and certainly within sales, it's the number one management activity that drives sales performance is being a good coach. Yeah.
Now, we didn't mean to make this into a sales coaching advertising.
No.
But it is critical. It is critical for success, and we can help teach you the tools that we've learned and that we use so that you can go out in 2021 and be the best that you can be.
Yeah, and I would also add that it's not just the salesperson that we coach, but it's also the sales leaders that we might coach so that they can coach their own teams. Coaching the coach, and that's something that we do as well. And I think if you are a sales leader, it's very important, firstly, that they understand the numbers, like we were talking about earlier on, that they spend time, in the field. And it might be, sitting in on a Zoom meeting or Teams meeting, or actually in face-to-face, depending on where they are in the world at the moment. And they do listen to what their sales teams are saying. They do listen back to recordings of sales conversations, so that they can coach that call. And that they do meet with their team regularly, and they do have a sales meeting agenda when they do that. And I know that we have one that people can download after this video that actually just says, okay, if you are going to meet with your sales team once a week, once a fortnight, once a month, here is a really good agenda to make sure that you get the most out of everyone's time and you're adding value. And it's not just a chore of going through a pipeline review. It is adding value, and people are enjoying that process. So we have that to download.
I know, Simon, so many times when in the insurance world that I sold in, the sales meetings were just winging it, and you can tell it was winging it. Yeah. And it's a waste of everybody's time. And I think you are so right on the money suggesting that they have a template for a meeting agenda, and it's so crucial. How about you? How were you raised in the sales world? Did your managers use meeting agendas or not?
No. It was right. What have you won? What's coming in? You know, it was very slapdash in that way. So no, but I like an agenda. And actually, one of the things, it's not really for this video, but something we'll cover in a future video about face-to-face meetings, is that I always, when I'm selling, and I say to my clients when they're selling, is at the beginning of any prospect meeting, is just agree an upfront agenda with them. Just agree how long the meeting's going to be, what the objectives are going to be for the meeting, what you're hoping to agree by the end of it, etc., etc. Just so that everyone has the same expectation. There's nothing worse in a prospecting meeting to think you've got an hour, but the prospect has to leave after 45 minutes. So just as you get into the good stuff, they're like, well, I'm sorry, I've got to leave. So we'll cover that in another one. But I think having an agenda makes you look professional, and you just maximize everyone's time, and you're showing everyone respect, and also everyone knows what to prepare for. There's nothing worse than everyone getting into a room or on a Zoom call and no one's really prepared. They don't know, I didn't know you were going to ask me that. You should have told me in advance. By having an agenda, everyone knows what to expect.
Well, I really do think that would be a good topic for another video. We'll have to write that down, Simon. Okay, so one thing I want to talk to you about is motivation, okay? Because so many times, and Simon, I know you've heard this too, people are looking for someone or you and I to motivate them, okay? You have to learn how to start motivating yourself. And that's why I love trackers, because this is motivation. And I'm a big believer of, watching motivational videos, listening to motivational speakers, but that'll be gone when you get that grumpy client calling you and there's a problem. So you have to learn over the course of the day how to keep yourself motivated and how to keep yourself on track so you don't get derailed.
Yeah, absolutely. And sales is a really hard job, because we spend most of our life in sales hearing the word no. We don't hear a lot of yeses as a percentage. It's most people will say no at all, or not right now, or call me back at some point. So we face rejection constantly. So we've got to be self-motivated. We've got to have that certain something that enables us just to keep standing back up every time we get knocked down.
All right, we've given you some tools, we've given you some ideas. Please share this video. Leave your comments below. If you've got a question for us or you want us to address a certain topic, put it in the comments below and we'll be happy to make a video around what your problem is, or what you're struggling with. Have a wonderful 2021. Be looking for Simon and I to do more videos. We're here to help you. But remember, sales is a journey, not a quick trip around the block. We'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.